Broadcast live.
Yo, we out here. We got Top and Trill, you know, as it should be. What's happening, James?
How you doing?
You know, firstly, thanks for coming through. You know,
appreciate you very much.
But mostly, you know, thanks for a dope album. You know, EP, mixtape, bunch of files put in one cover. You know, what do they call it?
Whatever water can win, bro.
What is it called these days? You know, bunch of files with the cover.
With the cover.
You know, bunch of audio files with the cover. You know. Firstly, where does this idea of collaborating together come from? Because it's one of those albums where you guys could have just been a group.
I think where it comes from is that I think we found each other through a mutual acquaintance, and we went into the studio just that day like, hey, let's mess around and see what happens. And then we saw like, actually we knocked it out the park, like first time, let's make another one. And then it grew, and eventually we were like, actually let's get serious about this, let's make it into a project.
So when you got serious about it, did you guys actually talk about like topics or themes, or was it just like, you know, this is where the beat is taking us?
Well, I mean, the first 2 songs is like where the beat's taking you, right? But then when you're sitting with like 5 songs, you're like, 5 more, it's a project, you know? Like if you make it 10, people are like, yeah, this is a EP, tape, album, whatever. So how about we look at the theme? So of course, some songs were taken out, replaced with other ones to make the theme a bit more solid and what we were going for, like a playful, fun album, sort of giving you
like a newish, nostalgic feel.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of like retro sounds, like TV game sounds in there, you know, with a new bounce. Yeah.
I mean, I was just caught by accident, you know, when Bonafide came.
Wake up in the morning and I take 2 shots. Chill up on the block, smoking on some weed and I see 2 cups. Put it out and out. Say fuck that nigga, that's my spot. Fuck you dog. Like you don't fly.
Yeah.
Shitty don't fly.
Hey, niggas acting shady, hard to tell if they my friends or not. I don't.
So, and I heard that like one of my days I must have been frustrated, and I just switched it off, but it never sounded, my mind already told me that you're not going to listen to rap this morning. But I just switched it off.
Yeah.
And on my way to Sun City this weekend, I was like, oh, I got to listen to this album. Yeah, by the way, you know, I got a bunch of albums I need to catch up on. And then I heard Bonafide. I said, oh shit. Then I went to the next joint. I said, I picked up the phone. And what I say, Ginger?
You say, yo, this thing is here hot, bro. This is really dope. I wasn't sure, but I'm getting to it and I'm liking it. I'm gonna hit you. That's what he said. You called me sad. I didn't even tell you.
I'm hearing by the same time as everybody else.
That's how it was. It literally, it's that album where you're like, you're not expecting a lot, you know. You know, it's like, you know, Ginger's Ginger. You know, I mean, Top, I'll be real with you, I haven't heard much of your stuff. So I'm like, if Ginger's doing a collaboration with someone, I don't think it's gonna be like the best work out there, you know. It could be just Amajita, they were drinking and smoking together, and you know, there was a microphone, there's a producer, like, fuck it, you know, you can rap too, I can rap too, you know what I mean? But the project is it's actually more than that. Bonafide is a flex. This is a bit about Bonafide. How does that even come through?
Well, I don't even know. Was it the first song? It couldn't have been the first song.
It was one of the early songs.
Yeah,
it was one of the early songs.
So we were looking for beats, and it was one of the guys that I knew. Shout out to Soundboy, my man Tanaka from Zim. And I listened to this beat. I was like, yo, man, this is one of the beats that I love. It's such a trap. Like I imagine coming if I was at the launch, that's what I'm coming out of. You hear the beat first and then we just hop out just already in rhythm. And then we tried the song, we bounced around ideas, we did it one time, we did it the second time. By the third time we were like, okay, this is the intro. Okay, cool, we're going with this one. That's how it came
Slap
about.
him right out of the gate, you know.
Right there, so that you know. It's also like you get a glimpse of what to expect, but I don't think you fully know after track 1 what to expect from this sound, this collaboration of these 2 artists on it.
So then you get into Frozen, right?
Neck and wrist be so froze, shining. Chip on my shoulder be so cold, diamond. Wallet and ego be so swole. I'm cold frown on these hoes. You ain't met a township nigga this bougie. Oh, you hoes thought y'all were choosy. Bitch, I been pimping since been pimping. I don't do groupies, no.
Frozen, like, for me, you know, I'm like, you see, when I make that when I'm on track 2, I'm almost like hoping that, shit, there's 8 more songs, they could let me down. I get emotionally attached.
Yeah,
it becomes like a relationship. I'm not ready to commit.
Yeah.
But I think I called you too early also. You know, it was giving it up on the first night.
Yeah.
That's what happened when I called you. I was like, damn, this shit is going in.
Yeah.
Yo, what comes into that? And I'm gonna tell you what I noticed with that. Frozen.
So, Frozen was really a showcase of Dizzy Monks is us as a creative collective. So it's really a showcase of like, okay, so guys, we're already working on this project. We've got this beat that sort of bounces. We think we can make it like a small like young Dizzy Monk anthem, you know what I mean? That like people can latch onto, and there's a bit of style for everybody in there. So there's something that like, you know, somebody can take home, you know.
You know, and going to and coming from.
You either going to or you coming from. Pull up looking like a 101. 2 women on me, that's a 20, talking 10 a piece. About to have a feast, barely 22, so they young and dumb. Grand models, 110 bottles, but they photogenic than a motherfucker. So I went and swiped that shit like, what the fuck?
I was like, you know, I was interested in the title because it was like, because I was going to Sun City. And I was like, I can't wait till I come from Sun City. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to explain the context because that's going to lead to my next conversation. In what perspective were you putting that in? And Ginger, I think you were really passionate about that.
Yeah, like, you know, trying to dumb down is so tricky sometimes. So I was looking for something to explain that me as an artist, because I think I was leading on that song, right?
Yeah.
Because I was
So
like,
I'm saying you're pretty passionate about it.
me as the artist, I felt like, you know, whether you coming or whether you going, either way is fine with me. Like the cycles just keep going around, and I was like thinking of the verse, and I was like, whether you going to or you coming from, feel like looking like a 101, and I was like, because I was imagining like the lifestyle of being an artist, like we always backstage. It's either you at the club, like in a little booth waiting with your mic, or you like backstage watching everybody, greeting everybody. And there's some people that you bump into that you mess with, you knew from the other time, or some new people that you meet. And I was like, people come in and out of this thing, but whether you're going or you coming, I'm here. Either way is fine. You're gonna watch me do this thing. And me and my man just like played around with it, and we just had some fun trying to make it a vibey song.
So I literally also asked myself, and Top, this is for you, you know, I was like, so Ginger is with these rap American beats. He needs a guy who's got a rap American voice in his chorus. Was this planned, Top? You are literally like you are the chorus man. You are like, and like the way you deliver. I'm like, oh, okay.
You could see why.
Yeah, I was like, oh. So in my head, I was saying, I wonder whether this guy collaborated with an American guy. But then I saw, no, it wasn't, because then you're someplace you were speaking vernacular.
Yeah.
Did you guys strategically plan that you'd be the chorus guy?
I think for the most part, everything was just vibes, man. Like, it was just vibes, you know? Like, a lot of the time what happens is that maybe I'll be at studio before him or vice versa, and we'll be like, yo, I have this idea. And most of the time, we will just jump on it, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff in the shelf. But I think like I was just lucky that a lot of the tracks that I ended up doing the choruses for were the ones we chose.
It was serendipitous, man, because the kind of beats, those are the kind of beats that, you know, Trill wants to be on. And then with this guy who sounds like this, I was like, man, you know, maybe it's a match made in heaven, because I've always wanted to hear for myself what it would sound like if I played back. And we made this project over like a year and some months, a year and some change. So it's grown from like the first time, the way it sounded, it's grown a lot, it's gone through changes and phases. And I realized looking back, I was like, this was meant to happen. We never had to force it. Like, first time we made a song, it was easy. Second time it was easy. Third time it was easy. All the times it was easy. We started pushing ourselves to just make it better. So a song wouldn't get done once. We'd come back 2 times, 3 times. And that's how we ended up with.
So how long have you guys known each other?
Only 2 years.
2 years.
Is it 2 years and change?
2 years and change, bro.
Yeah.
2 years. It's 3. It's actually 3 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I'd never heard like chemistry like this in a long time.
Yeah.
Word.
You know,
Thank you.
I've never heard chemistry like this in a long time. My only downside of it, I don't think you guys explored a lot of topics or concepts. You know,
Yeah.
I want to.
Yeah, that's true.
you know, I think that like it's a great album to listen to. And even when I say, you know, y'all never explored a lot of topics, lyrically, you know, even like just on the same topics, it's still dope, you know. But then y'all like there's a lot of like girl stuff there, you know. Y'all are like porn stars, you know. So.
Nah, yeah, we were being naughty with this one, man.
We were being naughty.
I think this was a deliberate album to be like naughty.
Yeah, you know, from the cover you can see the cover. My man's weapon is like a big ass joint. You know, you know, I've got the shield, but it's like a vinyl or whatever. But that joint was to show you how free-spirited we were going into this album. A lot of times in the studio, we'd be a little bit faded, you know what I mean? Of course, we'd come in, talk about the serious stuff, fade a little bit, then get comfortable and get into just enjoying the vibe of making the song. So we didn't want to make it too serious because the first time we tried it out was in front of people when we were like maybe like halfway through, and we went on this tour to Europe with Kool Out and Dizzy Monks, you know, the collaboration. So we went on tour to Europe, and we had to pick our best song with what we had. And we're like, damn, so it's gonna be that kind of thing, huh?
Yeah.
And I think that's also what kind of guided us into what we wanted all to sound like as a duo, coming out, performing together, him supporting me supporting him. You know, we decided this is what the music that we want people to know of us first as a duo, what the vibe that we bring. We're about a party vibe when we're together as Top and Trill.
And I mean, I guess we also solidified our chemistry on tour, you know, so
Yeah.
we were doing a lot of like our more jumpy tracks while we're in the European side. So I think like that just solidified the sound for us. By the time we got back here, we're still having fun of Europe, you know.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you guys saw like you got more context of a space outside your world, which kind of like created a tighter bond. And by the time you jumped into studio, it's almost like you know what the world is like out there. You know what
It's the
you
Matrix
know the
out
type of
there.
shit you gotta do. You know what's that?
Yeah.
How many conversations are like that where like you know what we gotta do though.
Yeah.
Because I think immediately when people can see the same end, they actually like put in the same beginning.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's wisdom, bro.
Was it like that at any time?
For me, even though we didn't speak, maybe we spoke about it maximum 5 times, but every time we would make, because we started before we went. We were already like a couple of songs in before we went. But by the time we come back, it was like, you know what it's like out there, right?
Yeah.
So if we're making this, even when we make a girl song, you know, he'd be very careful and calculating about his melodies and like a feature who he wants on the song. Like, okay, I got this girl, Shael, she's coming in Trill, so pull up. You might be here, she might be here when you pull up, she might not be here, but this is the vibe that I wanted to go for. Even when we make songs for the ladies and whatever, it could be like this, because when we're performing it, this is gonna be the feel. And that would always be the thing. Like, we look at going in from like how it was at the end, like, okay, when we had to do this one song, how did they react? When we did this other song, how did they react? And that's how we sort of crafted this, like with our instinct and just passion and not doing too much. That's why it's not heavily topical with the lyrics, I think, you know?
Tell me about Cashback Swag.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Look at all the sketch, look at all the swag, look at all the watches, look at all the bags.
Suave, back up in my bag. Call me Panda Man. We the gang again. Comma bands. Ooh, I'm such a foul mouth. They like come again. Fucked her on the mom couch. Yeah, made her come again.
That was a lot of fun, man. That was a lot of fun. Shout out your boy. I made that beat. I'm joking.
Yeah, that's
but for real though, I did make that.
That was you,
beat.
right?
I did make that. Shout out to myself.
Shout out. Let's give you your roses. You know, before you go to Net Florist and get your own roses. And, you know,
just and my sesh.
Yeah.
That was just a lot of fun. So it's got my man VIC from Nigeria on there. And we were down in Cape Town just having fun. And Trilly was going to come join us a little bit later in January. And we were messing around in December, and he was just looking, keep on looking. And then we were just like, oh, it just felt like, yo, we were like stars in the room, you know what I mean?
On a runway.
So like, by the time Ginger came through, he's like, I get it. I totally get it. Say no more, sir. And then we were just basically like being our own like Jay-Z's and celebrities in the booth, you know, just, but like,
it was like I changed clothes, you know, like change clothes. That's what it is, because it was one of the songs we performed that side. We were with P Cutter, shout out to my man P Cutter.
Yeah, shout out.
P Cutter was like, listen, gents, I don't know what you guys are gonna do. I don't know what this thing's gonna sound like, but this has to be the first single. We're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And we went with that.
That was the preview of Cashback Swag.
Ooh, get that.
Go listen to the rest of it.
Still got shoes up in the bags. Yeah, damn. The life I had.
Looking, keep on looking, keep on looking.
That's all you get for free. That's all you get for free. All right.
Looking.